Team Taiwan advances to semifinals in World Baseball Classic. Fatal accident in Taipei involving 2 buses. Man arrested after knife incident on high-speed rail. Second mass attack in China in a week. Trump victory could give TikTok a lifeline to remain in the US. Maori protesters march on New Zealand capital. Jong said to order mass production of suicide drones. Marie Antoinette's scandal diamond necklace sells for $4.8 million.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, November 18th, and here are your top stories. In local news, Team Taiwan secures second place in Group B of the WBSC Premier 12, advancing to the semifinals and guaranteeing at least a fourth-place finish. This marks their best ever result in the tournament. They will face Venezuela in the semifinals on November 21st at 11 a.m. Taipei time. A fatal traffic accident occurred in front of the Sheraton Hotel in Taipei's Jong district on Sunday morning. A Route 49 bus, which was stopping to let pedestrians cross, was rear-ended by the bus from Route 312, causing it to crash into a woman crossing the street. The woman was trapped under the bus and later died from her injuries. A knife-wielding man caused panic aboard the Taiwan high-speed rail train 814 heading north on Sunday morning after an argument with another passenger. He brandished a knife, shocking onlookers. He later fled but was arrested in Nantou after an investigation. The case is under further investigation. And in global news, 8 people were killed and 17 others were injured in a knife attack at a school in eastern China on Saturday evening. The same week, the country saw its deadliest mass killing in nearly a decade. An investigation is underway alongside the treatment of the injured. The Yixing Public Security Bureau said in a statement that a 21-year-old suspect, surnamed Xu, was arrested at the scene in the eastern county of Yixing, Jiangsu. Xu, a former student at the Wuxi Vocational Institute of Arts and Technology, reportedly carried out the attack out of anger.
The statement said Xu did not receive his graduation certificate after failing an exam and was also dissatisfied with his internship remuneration. He confessed to the crime, candidly. A video circulating online shows injured people lying on the ground with blood on their clothes, moaning in pain. Chinese censors swiftly suppressed news of the death toll. Less than 30 minutes after police released the statement, the topic could not be found on the trending page of Weibo, and a keyword search yielded only limited results. The incident is the latest in a series of recent attacks in China. Last Monday, 35 people were killed and 43 others injured when a 62-year-old suspect rammed his car into a crowd outside a sports center in Zhuhai.
After Donald Trump won the U.S. presidency last week, a few tech CEOs publicly praised the president-elect. One notable absence was TikTok CEO Zhou Xizhu. His silence stood out, given that TikTok faces the most immediate and existential threat from the U.S. government among major tech companies. In April, President Joe Biden signed a law that requires China's ByteDance to sell TikTok by January 19th. If ByteDance fails to comply, Apple and Google will be prohibited from supporting TikTok, effectively banning it in the U.S.
However, Trump's return to the White House could potentially offer a lifeline for Chew and TikTok. Although both Republicans and Democrats supported the Biden TikTok ban in April, Trump opposed the ban during his candidacy. In a March interview with CNBC's Squawk Box, Trump acknowledged national security and data privacy concerns surrounding TikTok but noted, "There's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad about the app." He also used TikTok's uncertain future in the U.S. as a talking point to encourage voters to oppose his Democratic rival, Vice President Kamala Harris. Since his election, Trump has not publicly discussed his plans for TikTok. However, Trump-Vance transition spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt said that the president-elect will deliver.
Thousands of people marched toward New Zealand's capital on Friday after a contentious bill that would reinterpret the country's 184-year-old founding document passed its first hurdle in Parliament. Several rallies opposing the treaty principles bill are being held in towns across the country as part of a 9-day march or haikoi to Wellington. It is expected to reach the national capital on Tuesday. New Zealand police estimated that 10,000 people participated in the march to Rotorua, about 280 miles north of Wellington.
Indigenous Maori leaders performed a haka, a traditional Maori dance historically used to challenge opponents, during the first parliamentary hearing on a bill aimed at redefining the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi, first signed in 1840 between the British Crown and more than 500 Maori chiefs. The treaty established how the two parties agreed to govern. The interpretation of its clauses continues to guide legislation and policy today. The ACT New Zealand Party, a junior partner in the centre-right governing coalition, introduced the bill last week, fulfilling a campaign promise from last year's election. However, Maori leaders and their supporters argue that the bill undermines the rights of the country's indigenous people, who comprise about 20% of New Zealand's population of 5.3 million.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un guided a test of suicide drones and ordered the mass production of the aerial weapon, stating that the global introduction of such drones necessitates an urgent update of military theory. Kim had previously supervised a test of suicide drones earlier this year amid rapidly developing military cooperation with Russia, raising questions about whether he was receiving technical assistance from Moscow to develop them. Also known as loitering munitions, these weapons have been widely used in the war in Ukraine as well as in the Middle East.
Kim underscored the need to build a serial production system as soon as possible and move into full-scale mass production. He said the competition for using drones for military purposes is accelerating worldwide, with military authorities likely recognizing their success in conflicts of various scales. North Korea has sent drones across the border to the south, flying for hours in key areas, including Seoul, and over the no-fly zone surrounding the South Korean presidential office. This has prompted South Korea to deploy weapons to shoot down North Korean drones. North Korea and Russia recently ratified a comprehensive strategic partnership that their leaders signed in June, which includes a mutual defense pact.
It's a sparkling piece of scandal, a 300-carat 18th century necklace whose diamonds may have helped fuel the overthrow of the French monarchy, sold for nearly $5 million at an auction in Geneva. The necklace has been worn at 2 British coronations and may contain diamonds from the infamous necklace at the heart of a scandal that tainted the reputation of Marie Antoinette, the last queen of France. Experts believe that some of the diamonds may be linked to the infamous affair of the diamond necklace.
The auction house Sotheby's said in a press release that this theory is supported by the style of the necklace as well as the quality and age of the stones. The exact origins of the necklace have not been recorded. Despite this, it is believed that the necklace could only have been created for royalty or a high-ranking aristocrat. It pointed to its nearly 500 diamonds arranged in 3 rows that trail on either side into a tassel. That history centers on Louis XV, the King of France, who commissioned a lavish diamond necklace for his mistress, Madame du Barry, in 1722, 2 years before he died of smallpox. In 2022, bracelets that once belonged to Marie Antoinette sold for more than $8 million at auction, also in Geneva.
The answer for last Friday was A, tribute. The statue was a tribute to the soldiers who died in the war. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of second mass attack in China in a week. Number 1, remuneration, 薪酬. The company offers a competitive remuneration package to its employees. Number 2, confess, 坦白. The suspect confessed to committing the crime after hours of questioning. Number 3, yield, 产生. The investment will yield high returns over the next few years. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm John Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.